So for last week's Friendsgiving episode of Dinner Time Live, I was assigned dessert, for which I made a key lime pie, Dave's favorite.
Hey, Christopher, did you make this? Bullshit.
I swear to God.
Christopher, it's really fucking stunning. I mean, this is like Will Ferrell in Old School. He just blacked out. He doesn't know what happened. This is really like well made.
No, like what's in it?
Little bit more fruit acidity.
All right, fair enough. So let's make it. Starts with about a cup of sweetened coconut flakes into a nonstick pan. You're not trying to get color on these necessarily, just a little bit before they go into crust. Speaking of crust, ours starts with Biscoff cookies. I didn't think they were going to come in the literal 2 cookies per pack airline size, but they did. So unwrap all of those and they go into a blender and they look like this once they've been blended, cookie dust. Put that into a bowl with, let's call it a third of a cup of sugar, quarter of a cup of sugar. Check on your coconut, check on your coconut, check on your coconut. And let's talk about lining a pie pan, something I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do a parchment round. So what I'm looking for from our professional is a parchment round. It's got to come all the way up to the edge and probably beyond, right?
Well, we're going to use the cartouche technique.
Oh, the cartouche.
So
this is Andrew Miller.
In half this way.
He works on the show.
In half that way.
And he's way too qualified to be showing me this.
And then you start making triangles. So you fold it over once. This piece of paper might actually not be big enough.
How do we check that? It's got to be at least as wide as the thing, right?
Yeah, so
it'll be okay. That'll look right.
Should be. You put the tip in the center.
Okay.
And then line it up the length you want it, right?
Okay.
Which we want right there.
And then just straight across. Freaking Archimedes over here. Come on, man. All right, back to the filling. So a smoother lime like this one is going to have more juice, while this kind of wrinkly, pimply one is going to have drier segments inside. Either way, you want to give them a good roll under your hand to break up the segments inside to yield more juice. When you slice your limes in half, preferably you would be using a sharp knife, unlike me. Check on your coconut. Don't forget about that thing. They'll burn fast. All right, so let's juice some limes. I think I'm going for about a cup and a quarter of juice. Oh, Dave wanted this to be a little punchier, a little more citrusy. So I'm also adding the zest of a couple of limes, which I almost forgot to do, and then the juice of about 8 limes. I think the first pie was about a cup of lime juice. This is more like a cup and a quarter, just to get a little more acidity. And hey, look at that. That's what the coconut should look like. It's got a little color, but it's not fully browned. As a topping, it should go fully brown, but right now we're stopping a little shy, adding it in with our cookie crumbs. I'm not adding all of it quite yet because I don't know how much I'm going to use. That's what it looks like. Okay. This is most of a stick of butter. Make sure you give it a stir because it's important that both the fat and the liquid get in there because you want this to adhere almost like sand for a sandcastle. So I'm just checking the texture and deciding whether I want to add more coconut, whether there's enough topping in there. I'm going to add a little bit more coconut. Oh, idiot. I don't know why I was reserving any of it. So once that's all mixed together, you got to start the kind of painstaking work of packing this into your pie tin. There's really just no substitute for being an anal little ding-dong about this. You've just got to really work on pressing it in there so the crust sticks. You want to be able to slice this crust. And when you're done after 5 or 10 minutes of just being fidgety with this, you can put this into the oven at 350. I think we go for somewhere between 12 and 14 minutes before we move on to the filling, which is not 1, but 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk and 5 egg yolks. Blend that up with all of that lime juice and zest until it's all fully smooth. It should look a little something like this. Pudding. Okay, so the crust is baked off. All told, I think we were in there for 12 or 13 minutes. The coconut is all fully browned now. Right at the end, you'll start to see the crust kind of wave and ripple as one piece. Years ago, I saw Liz Pruitt from Tartine make a coconut gluten-free crust, and she said not even to bother to let it cool before adding the filling, but I am not as brave as Liz, so mine cooled completely before adding the filling. This ratio is just like the perfect amount of filling for this crust size. I saw a bunch of recipes online that used like 1 can of condensed milk, and I just don't understand anything that doesn't come to the meniscus of the pie crust. So into the oven at 350 I started it at 16, ended up being 22 minutes, and you really gotta let this thing cool. You can touch the center if you're brave, but oil your finger first so you don't leave a dent in it. You want this to still be jiggly in the center because it's going to set up as it cools to room temp, and then you're going to stick it into the fridge to cool completely before you frost. Speaking of frosting, mix together 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar with 1 cup of cream. The cheap stuff, the fancy stuff, a little more. The fancy stuff will not have the stabilizers that make this easy to whip, and then add a couple tablespoons of sour cream, another move I blatantly ripped off from Liz Pruitt, and then just whip it. I like to whip this by hand so I can kind of control how far it goes. I don't want it to be like stiff, but this is exhausting. You'll see me change hands like 4 times and then clean the counter just to get a rest. And then I think actually Andrew comes in to do a quick shift here. But, you know, he whipped this for like 12 seconds, honestly. He did very little for this thing. All right, moment of truth. We have liftoff. We greased that pie pan before putting the parchment in, but actually I think that next time I'm just going to use water because it slid around a lot as I was trying to pack the crust in. But in either case, the parchment should come out pretty easily, like so. Look at that. Crust held together. All right. Time to top this. I put the cream in the fridge for too long. It started to separate a little bit, but it should work out just fine. Pretty happy with that crust. It's a little thick in spots. I was a little bit heavy-handed, but yeah, overall, it looks pretty good, I think. I mean, full disclosure, I probably took it out of the fridge 2.5 hours earlier than I should have. I was getting a little bit eager, but look at that thing. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's sliced nicely. Like I said, another 2 hours, it'd be perfect. You can see the corner is a little thick, obviously, but let's see what they thought about it on the show.
And he made a key lime pie, and I think it was the best thing he's ever made. But I wouldn't be a bigger brother if I didn't sort of put the standard out there. I was like, now we have to see if we can make it 2 times in a row.
Yeah, dude.
To me, that's just that's like another way of sort of becoming more well-rounded. And it's just not my forte, which is why I try to hire the best pastry chefs. And Chris might have a...
Chris is your... The pie is so good.
Yeah, thank you. Come on.
This pie is so good.
Hey, he's had enough compliments today. We've reached the compliment threshold. He's like a gremlin. We can't give him any more.
Don't feed me a compliment after 7 p.m.
No.